Hey everyone, what's up? It's another episode of The Warrior. I know it's been a long time since I've done my last podcast, and I do apologize for that. But, I've been dealing with a lot, as, I may have said this a lot in my other podcasts, but, life happens, and sometimes we just need to separate ourselves so that we can actually claim our sanity. Anyways, what I want to talk about today is respect. Now, check this out. Respect is just, words can't even describe how important it is for two people or just a whole bunch of people to have respect for one another and personal space, especially when it comes to relationships and trying to get to know each other. Now, in relationships, and this has happened to me, but I'm pretty sure it's happened to a lot of yous, is that when two people who kind of like each other, but then all of a sudden one, because it goes both ways, but when one takes it too far and pushes the other one into something that they're not ready for, that's not cool. Again, it's all about respect as well as, what's that word I always use, boundary. Again, this kind of always goes back to, open communication. But sometimes there are people who do not. And I'm saying do not want to hear it. They just want to do it at the moment and just leave you hanging. See, as I said before, those are called instant gratifiers. They want it now. And, they just want it now, and they don't want to deal with the consequences that come after. That's not cool. It's not cool at all. It's not fair to the other person. And I don't know who's listening out there, but something that's just been on my mind a lot lately. And something, I know a lot of people struggle with. But definitely boundaries is one thing I feel like people need to take into consideration, especially when it comes to relationships, because, for example, and this goes both ways, but I'm just going to say hypothetically, so if a guy forces a girl to have sex with him, and the girl doesn't want to right now because she feels like she's not ready, because she still has some things she's got to work on herself, that's not cool. Vice versa, if the girl forces the guy to have sex with her and he's not ready because he still has some things he has to deal with, that's not cool. So again, this really all goes back to respecting boundaries, alright? There's no way, I can't stress it enough. And if there's someone who you're talking to, whether it be male, female, whatever the case may be, the person who you're talking to, if they don't respect your boundaries and they don't give you any respect at all, then it's time to cut them loose. Because honestly, you don't have, especially because I've seen so many people die, so many loved ones, especially my own, many close ones are dying, and it's making me realize I don't have time to put up with drama. I don't have time to be putting up with needless people or faithless people or whatever the case may be. Look, you want a relationship, If you want to mess around, you want to mess around, but I'm not going to get involved. If I were you, get involved with people who actually want to spend time with you, get to enjoy your company. You know what I'm saying? Doing the boring stuff, but still find it fun. You know what I'm saying? Don't be so naive. Don't be in a rush to have your needs satisfied when it's going to put you into a lake of fire. I mean, you know, that's really all I can say. You know, like, I can say so much, but at the end of the day, it's really all up to you guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I will still continue making my podcast. Hell yeah, because that's, you know, that's what I like to do. But, you know, as I said, you know, so many times, I'm pretty sure you guys say it, but you can listen to all my podcasts, and, you know, and I really do want you guys to check it out. Like I've said before, my podcasts are never preaching, but my podcasts really are about just, how do I say this? My podcasts are just really about connecting and, you know, just about life. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, you know, I do kind of go in deep with my podcast, but it's because I'm real with you guys. I want to be as real as possible with you guys. You know, be consistent, be open with you guys. So, I mean, that's really all I can say. So, I mean, I don't know. There's really not much I can say, but just take into consideration, just learn that respect. You know, and I'm learning it too. Like, whenever I tell you guys, you know, something from or in my podcast, it's, you know, I'm only human. I make my mistakes too. But just know that I'm learning the same things you are. We're all learning this together. But know that it's, you know, you don't have time to be spending time with people who all they want to do is mess around and waste your time. Be with someone who wants to not take your time. You know, to take, I should say it. Be with people who wanna, how do I say this? Not only go with the flow, but not rush things, especially into things that they're not ready for, especially when you're not ready for. I mean, that's really all I can say. I really do hope you like this podcast. Please check them out. Please, like I said, please check them out. My podcasts are on Spreaker. Yes. What's in the pocket? I have, I'm sorry, I'm like drawing a blank right now. I'm sorry, guys. But my podcasts are on Spreaker. You can download that Spreaker. That's the Spreaker app. I'm not sure if it's for Galaxy, but I know it's definitely for iOS, for iPhones. My podcasts are not going on YouTube. Warrior Matos, but my podcasts are The Warrior. This is actually episode number 34. In case if you guys are wondering, episode number 34. So please do check them out. It's really fun. Well, they're fun, but the fact is that you learn a lot. You know what I'm saying? They're very relatable. My podcasts are extremely relatable, and I hope to, you know, hear from you guys soon. I also, one thing before I pick out, I also want to let you guys know that I do actually make YouTube videos. What's it called? I actually do make YouTube videos sometimes right after my podcast, probably like a couple days after. But usually it's based on what we talk about. And I'm also, for those of you who've been noticing, I also been going live on Facebook, so you can go check that out. My Facebook lives is usually Let's Talk. And I usually just, you know, talk about different things, and, you know, but it's really fun, it's really interesting. Hope you guys have a blessed evening. Again, this is Kristen Marie Warrior, episode number 34. Peace.